sound of fried eggs as we speak about what has fried my eggs this past week. And this always happens. You do a segment and you're really excited about it and it's terrific. And it happens on the sports show when we start to throw people under the Monday night sports talk bus. But this is our equivalent here on Connecticut Morning, and it's what fries my eggs. And we have to do our civic duty from time to time to time. There are three stories this week that are of local interest that actually fried my eggs from sort of sunny side up to burnt over crisp. And the first one is really a story of burnt over crisp. And this is a story which came out about last Friday considering Adam Lanza, who was the shooter in the Newtown tragedy a couple of years ago. And it so comes out through a investigation that was done that the people at Newtown had no idea that Adam was the shooter of, actually they knew he was the shooter, but they had no idea that he had these issues because the people at the Yale Psychiatric Institute never let them know it. Now, this is a classic incident, and I'm always saying this time and time and time and time again. It's not what you say many times that will hurt you, it's oftentimes what you don't say. And this is a classic instance of a failure to communicate that really resulted in a much more critical failure. And I'm going to point the finger and throw the egg these days at Yale University because you screwed up big time. And this is information that should have been communicated and well communicated, and a horrible tragedy may have been averted. So that's number one on what fries my eggs. Number two, I can't really get off of this thing with the Hartford ballpark, and there's a lot of push and pull. As we spoke about last week, the Hartford City Council did allow the ballpark, and now it's before the Planning and Zoning Commission, but many times you have to dig for your news. If you're reading in the mainstream outlets, you'll get a lot of what a lot of other people are saying. I was reading yesterday morning concerning what we were talking about last week, a minor league team's commitment to a particular city. I had mentioned the fact that minor league teams do not sign long-term commitments with cities because they constantly want to go where the deal is better, so that if there's a city in a couple of years that will give a AA franchise a much better deal, they're out. So my question was, with the 25-year lease, that the team owners of this particular team, the New Britain Rockcats, were promising the city of Hartford, where was their guarantee that the parent club would be give them a team to actually put into the stadium? And I said, I can't find anything on it. Well, I did. And this is from, and I would like to give these folks, Batting Around, which is a baseball internet website and newsletter. There is an article that was written last week called Slow Progress in Hartford. And it says here, the Rockcats will play for at least one more season, got it, one more season, in their current home at New Britain Stadium. Then they signed a 2-year player development contract, the owners, with the Colorado Rockies as the Rockcats leave to play in the stadium. Now, the commitment going in is 2 years. The lease to the city of Hartford is 25 years. My question to the city of Hartford is, what about the other 23? I guess you don't want us to know about that, but we do, and that fries my eggs. Last but certainly not least, and yesterday morning I was aware of the fact that U.S. Senator Chris Murphy and U.S. Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro announced a $5.5 million grant to put 567 people in Connecticut back to work through something called the Ready to Work Initiative. The Ready to Work Initiative is a training program to provide training, support, and job placement services to unemployed workers and veterans in the fields of information technology, engineering, and advanced manufacturing. Now, what I'm going to ask you, my loyal watchers of this show, my viewers, is do the math. This is about $10,000 per person, and this is really a resource which I believe could be much better used for business development and skill training, as opposed to training these people for industries where we don't even have the industries to employ them once it's over. But it's a program. Government always answers everything with a program. We have the Department of Homeland Security because the FBI and the CIA weren't doing what they're supposed to do. We have FINRA because the SEC isn't doing what it's supposed to do. This is how government answers things. And if you go way back, like I do, we had the Great Society. So with that being as it is, the state of Connecticut, Congresswoman DeAngelo's and Senator Murphy, you're frying my eggs because this is our tax dollars, and frankly, you could be putting this to a much more targeted and directed use than yet another government program. When it's all over, it employs a bunch of people for a time, and that'll be that. So that's what fries my eggs this week. We'll be coming back with a really fun segment, and this is going to be a time when Muhammad Ali has run out of everybody to fight. It has absolutely nothing to do with current events, but it's a lot of fun. He's going to fight Wilt Chamberlain right here on Connecticut Morning.